At what point does a torture test become unfair to the knife? In this video, I want to try to answer the question. Stick around. If there's one thing in this world there's no shortage of, it is knives. Nothing has taught me this more than being a YouTuber these last couple of years, because I'm a knife lover and I just love taking a look at knives. I love reviewing different knives. Now, it's obvious that my channel consists of more than just the subject of knives. It's pretty much anything in this realm, but I do cover a lot of knives. And the one thing I've seen these last couple of years is the gap that exists between hype and reality. And there are a lot of knives out there that are very popular that I even once liked, that I went on to discover was junk in my opinion. And yes, I have been a fanboy over certain blades that I'm not anymore. But is there a such thing as knives getting unfair reviews or getting a bad rap for the wrong reason? Definitely. I know that it's fun to see torture testing done on a blade. I have no problem with torture testing. I know there's a lot of channels out there that are devoted to torture testing. I'm all about that. But one of the things that I'm in disagreement with is judging every knife based on extreme torture tests. And I have to be transparent when I say this as well. I could compare a lot of the knife testing that goes on YouTube to something like taking a truck and crashing it into a wall and then saying this truck is not built worth a crap. I mean, no vehicle is going to respond positively to an intentional crash. But that's not what's supposed to be happening. We're not supposed to be crashing into things with our vehicles. We're supposed to be driving to and fro and getting home safe. If the vehicle doesn't perform the task that it's supposed to perform, then we have a problem. It wouldn't be much different to take a sharp knife and then stab it into a tire and say, these tires aren't worth a crap. Because tires are meant to ride on the road over time and provide that service. Tires aren't supposed to be able to survive you stabbing them. In this video, I want to give you 3 instances where torture testing is unfair to the knife. And I'll go one step further. When is it unfair to the consumer? Number 1, judging the knife by putting it through the type of testing it should never be subject to anyway. A knife doesn't suck just because it loses its edge after you hitting it against a rock 100 times. A combat knife, whether it's budget steel or good steel, is designed to be able to slice flesh and be able to handle the impact of a bone. But if you beat that knife against a steel door enough times, or you beat it against a center block enough times, what do we think's going to happen with the knife? If you want to do torture testing and see how much it can take, have fun. I'm not against that. I'm not throwing any shade at that, but I am throwing shade at discrediting the blade because it couldn't necessarily survive your torture test. Because now we start finding ourselves advocating for the need for everybody to spend hundreds of dollars on a knife, and I don't agree with that. Number 2, it's wrong when we forget about the fact that not everybody can afford the highest end stuff. There are plenty of budget blades out there that if you use them reasonably can serve you for a long time, as long as you use them for the task they were built for. Now, I will say this, if during a review that knife cannot perform the activities that it advertises itself for, then we can talk bad about the knife. But let's not pretend that we're not going to have to sharpen our budget steel more often. Number 3, I don't think that doing torture testing with the intention of discrediting a company is right. Companies need to be judged by what they're offering according to the price. Just because you can break a knife don't mean the company sucks. And just because you can break a knife and destroy it doesn't mean it's not a good knife. It just means that you pushed it beyond what it was made for. There are fair slicing tests, fair tip tests, fair chopping tests, all kinds of fair tests that can be done on a knife without putting it through nuclear testing and then saying that it sucks, or that the company sucks, or calling its fans fanboys. You're dang right they're going to be a fanboy if they found a knife within their budget that serves their everyday purpose. Why do you got to spend $400 or $500 on a knife to escape the genre of fanboy? I don't like this kind of stuff. I'm not against torture testing. I'm not against putting blades through the ringer. I just think that people go too far with it when it turns into unrealistic expectations, slander or belittling people who can't afford anything but budget knives, and discrediting companies that don't need to be discredited. So these are my thoughts on this. I know a lot of you are going to disagree with it. It's just my thoughts, because I'm trying to be here as an advocate for a lot of companies, and I'm trying to see the good, and I'm trying to put stuff out there for those who are looking for more quality, but I'm also trying to be fair to those who are looking for something decent, who don't have a lot of money to spend, because there is a knife out there for everybody. And I just think that sometimes the knife community can get really pretentious and unrealistic, and I'm just here to call it out, man. It's just my opinion. I'm probably going to get some tomatoes thrown at me over this, but I try to stay balanced. I try to give honest feedback, but it looks like we've got a storm coming, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Take care.